Yeah, hi everyone. Now, firstly, I wanted to apologise for not putting out any releases or media over the last 4 weeks. As you're fully aware, it's obviously been a very busy time. Not only am I the owner and director of Astute Investments, but I'm also the principal of our real estate office, Astute Realty. So we do have hundreds of properties that we manage and quite a few staff that we've been trying to work through all these issues with. Now, the aim of this video today is to give you an update of where we're at from an Astute Investments point of view, but also talk to all of our existing clients who are landlords and give you an idea of what's been implemented in that space as well, if you're not already aware. Now, I've taken some notes here, so I will be referring to my laptop from time to time just to make sure I cover everything for you. Okay, I wanted to start with our Astute clients, so those that have, over the last 13 years, and there's hundreds of you that have done business with us, and I just wanted to give you some assurance of where we're at and what we're doing. So obviously, as a landlord, your biggest concern at the moment is are our tenants going to keep paying rent? Now, under the current legislation, there has been no change. Tenants still need to pay rent. Yes, there has been an announcement by the government in terms of a, freezing, I guess you could say, for evictions. None of that's come down legally yet. That has just been a sweeping statement. It will come into place, but there is still the balancing of that tenants still need to pay rent if they can. Now, at the moment, what we're doing to implement a bit of a strategy there is they need to prove to us that they've actually lost their job, because at the moment we're seeing that quite a lot of them are taking advantage of this situation and obviously not paying rent, which is not really what it's intended for. We're here to genuinely help those tenants that have, obviously come into hard times. So what we've got is a document that we're sending out to tenants who are in financial trouble, and we're getting them to go through the job seeker, the job keeper, and all those different allowances. We're assisting them with links to get in touch with people that they can to find out what they're entitled to. They need to then show us that they've exhausted all of those means before we'll then go to the next level, which is obviously to speak to landlords and go from there. So at this stage, we haven't had anybody that has actually completed one of those forms or gone through that process. So it'd be interesting to see how many actually have. At this stage, most rents are still being paid and everything's running as normal. There is also talk of a release of a rental allowance. This, I believe, is being spoken, at a parliamentary level at the moment, or being discussed. We'll await any sort of announcement on that, and we'll keep you briefed as that occurs. And that would certainly, obviously, assist, those who are in a bit of rental trouble. So other than that form and the freezing, I guess there was a couple of questions that I've got written down here from our landlord's point of view. Probably the most common is, should I freeze my investment loan, and basically turn off the tap for a moment? My gut feel is I wouldn't at the moment. I would continue to keep paying your loan repayments as well as you can. If you have issues with that, please give me a call, please touch base. I'm happy to renew cash flows and look at things for you to try and find ways around that. But I would suggest for now anyway, for the next week or two, just until we see the dust settle a bit, is continue to make the payments as normal and let's reassess from there. What I would suggest though is definitely negotiate a good deal on your rate. You should be somewhere between 2.9 to say 3.4% as a broad brush figure, just depending on your lending amount, whether you're interest only, P&I, all those other factors. If you're not, I would definitely go and speak to your bank and ask for some assistance in terms of the reduction of the rate on your loan. So for all those existing clients that I have, my services are here all the time. So I know there's a bit more need at the moment. So if you do require some budgeting assistance, or you do require, assistance around trying to get your head around how your investment property is going to look moving forward, if there is any issues, please touch base with me, email, phone call, whatever it needs to be. I can set up either a Zoom or a Skype meeting, and we can, speak over those means and have a chat about what you're trying to do. We're certainly here to help. Okay, the next category is essentially those new clients. So clients that I've been dealing with, which is probably 30 to 40 of over the last month or so, that are in the midst of looking at either purchasing or they're in the construction phase at the moment of an investment. So those that are in the construction phase or in that building aspect, there's been no change at all. All the trades, all the builders are still on site. We're still progressing and we're still aiming to finish. To give you an idea, we finished off, I think it was about 4 or 5 houses in the last 10 days. All 4 or 5 have been rented out. So there is still a market there, and we're still getting applications through. We have had to change our processes in the office quite a bit. We are unable to go out and do routines at the moment. We're looking at a program that will allow the tenant to give us a virtual feel through the property. I know it's not ideal, and obviously they could possibly hide things that I want to show you, but it's the best we can do for the moment. And we're also doing virtual walkthroughs for prospective tenants looking at renting a property. We still can hold one-on-one inspections at the property for them, for those that are really interested, but hopefully the video walkthrough sort of works out whether they're that interested in wanting to come along to one. So for those people in construction, no change, and renting them out, no change. For those clients I've been chatting to about buying an investment or buying your own home or looking at those options, I would heavily suggest that we just hold tight for now. I know there's a few that were really keen to go ahead, but I would think that it would be probably more prudent at the moment just to sit and wait. The environment's changing so quickly that I don't think anybody knows what it's going to look like. And I don't think it's going to hurt to wait a few weeks and see where it settles. We may even find that there's talk of a correction in the market. I don't think there'll be a huge one, but there may present some buying opportunities in there, which would be great. So yeah, that covers basically those areas in there as well. What I will say though to those new clients is on our website, we charge $249 for a discovery session. We are going to waive that fee for the next 6 months. So there will be no charge at all. So whether you're an existing client or a new client, please get in touch. I'm happy to do a discovery session, happy to do education, happy to do all those things around planning and looking at what you can do. I just don't think it's worth pulling the trigger in this environment. But we can certainly use the time to educate. Obviously, my presentations where I travel around to a lot of the locations around Australia and present, I actually really enjoy presenting in front of people rather than online. That's obviously been cancelled until further notice. So I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and meeting people again. But for those that want to engage one-on-one, I'm more than happy to, and we can go through some plans and things. And the final area, although there may not be a lot of tenants actually looking at this particular video, but I know that a lot of my landlords are tenants as well. So I just wanted to cover off a few points before I finish. So keep paying rent if you can. If you can't and you've lost your job or you're in a position where you can't pay rent, make sure you keep evidence of your job seeker, your job keeper, all the things you're doing to try and mitigate the loss to your landlord. That will be very helpful when the time comes in the wash, when they're trying to work out who needs to pay what to whom. If you're unable to pay, report it early to your property manager, speak with them, communicate with them. Probably the key to everything is make sure you communicate. The girls in our office are probably the busiest they've ever been, just speaking to people, trying to reassure them. We're here to help them as a tenant. We're not trying to cause any issues, but we need proof as well. Unfortunately, there's people out there that will take advantage of circumstances like this, and we just need to make sure and try and weed through who's legitimate and genuine and who's not. So gather as much evidence as you can. It certainly helps us in our role. So that's basically it from me. It's business as usual from the real estate point of view. From obviously a student investments point of view, there's no traveling or anything, and I would certainly suggest holding any investment ideas for the moment. But certainly I'm here to help with budgeting for existing clients or even planning for those clients that are looking at doing something in the future. So I guess the key thing, keep safe, keep sane. I've got 4 kids at home that I'm trying to put through schooling, which is fantastic fun. I love it. But it keeps me, entertained, I guess. So if there's anything I can do in any way for any existing or new clients, please touch base, email, phone, whatever it may be. And keep safe, guys. All the best.